So I'm just going to bring this over here to tidy it up a bit. Alt and click to drop that elbow thingy in. And then we need to unpack this actually. So abd unpack, put that here, which is great. And then we're going to build some constraints. So abd constraints from rules down here. And this will go into the left geometry port and we'll generate some proxy geometry. Again, it's just the same, but you know, why not? And so we're going to be building the constraints between the window, the glass element, and the car itself. So group to group, and we're going to use the name attribute. Name is bendy, and then here at name is glass. So hopefully that works. There we go. So we get some constraints between the two there. So you know, to obviously hold the glass in the car. Let's do a couple more because I need these constraints to be quite strong. And we'll just call these connectors. We'll just leave them as connectors, as you know, in this simulation that's all we've got. We don't have any other connectors. They're the only extra constraints that we need to build. Okay, so now we can start adding some constraint properties. So abd constraint properties. Okay, let's drop that in, and we can start with this. I didn't actually give it a name. Maybe I should have done that. But so for this window on the side, the groups. So you can see we've got bits. Can we use that? I don't think that will work actually. Let's see. No, you can see the bits are going everywhere. What I'll do is I'll do not windscreen and not the connectors as well. And hopefully that should, yeah, you can see if I just drop a no so we can actually see and just giving that a quick color, right? So I just want these constraints on the inside of this window on the side here, right? Because they're going to behave differently to the windscreen, obviously. So they're going to be a glue and they're going to be really weak, just 3, with again a lot of iterations, so that you know the impact around the edges, so that the car is going to be moving the glass. You know, those impacts kind of stretch into the middle, and especially because we've got so many tiny pieces as well. Okay, so that's good for them. Let's do the windscreen. So another abd constraints from rules. There we go. Okay, what was it? Click, shift click, shift click, click. And that's done something weird. This needs to go in there. There we go. And that needs to be empty. Oh no, that's the wrong node. That's why. abd constraint properties. There we go. I'll just do it like that. And so the windscreen, let's turn on the windscreen. Let's give it a color, fancy color, yellow. And there we go, we can see it there. So these again are going to be glue constraints. At the beginning, I'm going to make them super weak, 0.5. Okay, basically want all of them to break. Well, more or less all of them. Propagation iterations, I'm going to push this up to 50. So beyond, you know, the max here is 10. I'm going to push it up pretty high. And then we're going to switch constraints to soft. As I said, you know, a windscreen normally has a layer of plastic, two layers of glass with a layer of plastic, something like that. I think it's laminated. So when the glass breaks, it doesn't, you know, shatter and spray into the faces of the passengers on the inside and the driver. So it's going to turn into soft constraints after, and I need them to be really stiff. Push this up to 50. I'm going to override some angular stiffness as well, so they can bend a bit more. Okay, and I do want plasticity on this one. Okay, so we'll turn on the plasticity, leave this 0.1 is okay. The rate, you know, again, quite fast. Do that to 10. And I want angular, definitely want these, you know, to hold their then you bent the angle, you know, when they change their angle, I want it to hold that. So again, I'll set this to 1. So this is the threshold at 1, I believe it's degrees. Does it tell us here? In degrees, yeah. So at, you know, when it turns 1 degree, so that's, you know, not a lot, it will start to apply plasticity. And I'll do both of these to 10 as well. Oops. Let's do that. I think it's set to -1 by default. And this to 10. Cool. So that's all good for those. What else? So we need to do the actual connectors holding the glass into the car, right? So another RBD constraints from rules, constraint properties, connect that up. Okay, and this will be the connectors. So find those, give it a nifty color, and these will be just soft from the get-go. Yeah, I found with you know, attaching RBD objects to deforming static objects with just a glue constraint, they seem to just stretch and don't really behave correctly. But with a soft constraint, they follow along as long as I, you know, push up the stiffness a lot, which I will do here. So give it a very high stiffness and a strong angular stiffness as well. And I'm going to also add plasticity onto this. Kind of helps to hold it in place as well. Okay, push those up. Basically the same as the other values that I did for the windscreen. Okay, could play around with these values a bit more if you like, but you know, I found I just wanted to, you know, bend when the body bends it and then just hold its shape. I don't want it to flex much more after that. Okay, cool. So one thing we do need to do, so the windscreen constraints, so these, because they're going to be soft constraints after, I want to convert them. There we go. I think it's this. Yeah, RBD convert constraints. I want the windscreen constraints to become what are they called? Surface points, right? So let's find the group first. What are they? Windscreen, and I want them to be surface points. Okay, just like we did with the metal. And because it's we're using soft constraints with them, it should work a bit better. So you know, that's going a bit slow now. It's a lot for the viewport to show. Okay, so that's our constraints done. We can visualize them here. Okay, so you can see there. These have been pushed down to just the constraint between the surface of the two objects, and you can see the difference between the two, right? So this thing is just going to shatter into, you know, a load of little pieces and not hold together. Maybe a couple of chunks around the edge hopefully will stay together, whereas these are going to completely stay together. Maybe one or two pieces will come loose. So that's perfect.